I owe you an apology. It's been a week and I've still not got the thing up I promised to do a week ago, because I'm now recording it and it won't be up today probably. Well, it might be. We'll see how we get on. Life's been very busy. We've been away and I've really, sorry, I've not had the time. Work is just hectic at the moment, and so I've not had the time to do things in advance, and so this is something that needs a big chunk of time. I can't just do it in a wanna. So we're going to decorate our accordion journal today. This is a landscape one I've done, just to show you, give you another option of what can happen. I've used a bit of trim. This is stuff that I've dyed, an old cloth, tea cloth or something I've dyed, from a tea tray. And this is one of these ones I made, but I just kind of cut it and put it in because it was the front. I just wanted to do something a wee bit different with it. And this is fabulous stuff. This came in a box of bits and pieces, and I've tried and tried to find more of it and I can't. It's Denison's gummed picture binding. It's the most wonderful goldy colour, brushed antique goldy colour, and it's gummed, as it says, although I'm using glue, but you can see the gum's still being fresh. But this is old stuff. It's made by Denison Manufacturing Company in Massachusetts. So if you're in Massachusetts, I don't know if I've got any of my watches are in Massachusetts, you might be able to find it. I have searched and searched and can't find it anywhere, but I would love more of it. I'm going to use it because I believe in using things, but I'm going to hoard use it. In other words, I'm going to use it sparingly. I'm not going to go, I'm going to put a bit of that on this and take, goes that way, Kirsten, and take a bit like that off and put it on one piece. Who knows, I might end up doing that, but I'm more likely to do like I've done here, just adding little bits to some of the pages just to give it a little lift. So let's have a flip through here. As I said, this is a landscape. It's just to give you another option, and that just means that when you've got your paper, instead of cutting from the long side up and from the long side down, you cut from the short side across and the short side across. If that didn't make sense, let me know and I'll explain it better. So I've not put one of these on every page. Some pages have just got a wee bit of embellishment on, just because it'll be too thick and chunky. I mean, there's two on that page, but it can become a bit over because of this thick stuff. And I quite like just being able to see some of these background pages, and it makes this gold paper just really sing out. So this one I've mounted on a bit of tissue paper as well before mounting it down, so just to give it another element of difference. And some of them I've put right up here. This one's almost the same size, but that's okay. I've added things. So that was what I had, but for this one, for example, I've used this as part of a cluster, and I've added a bit of the gold tape, and I've added a little bit because I had some leftover bits of this card. This card. So that one's just got an extra wee cluster on it, and this is the back. And what I've done in this one is those pocket pages, I've actually stuck them together and then cut them in half, so you can cut them. You can cut them however you want, but so I've got two bits there that can flip and change. And then this is the next one, and again two bits, but this time I have cut them in half and decorated both sides of them. And then here I've cut them in half again, but cut them down at the bottom. So the cut has moved from the top to the middle to the bottom. and it just gives another point of difference, really. And then we're back to the beginning. And then you can display them like this, and you can see that once you've got your papers and things on, it might just be a pretty standard bit of sheet of paper you've started with. Oh, this bit needs inking. But you end up with something that will stand up itself because of the additions to the paper. Let's go on. Let's go on. I've already started doing some stuff on, let's just put that over there. I've already started doing some stuff on this one, just because I wanted to get moving with it. Is my front. I put an F on it to remember, and these are the bits I've already picked out for putting on the front. We've got this bit, we've got this bit of Hessian ribbon, we've got this title. This is extra ones, not on the thing but on a bit of coffee dyed paper I printed, and then I stamped over one of the fern stamps just to give it a bit more, something a bit different. I think I want to put that underneath there. Or do I want to put it, take it higher maybe and put that in there like that? I was thinking about maybe putting this underneath here as well, but I'm not sure if I, oh actually no, I do like that underneath there. I think that just kind of finishes it off, doesn't it? I do feel like I maybe want to write something on that one. Let's stick it, I just need to decide whether I want that one or not. I've put little screw brads in that. I'm swithering, can you tell? Nothing new there, you're saying to yourself, aren't you? I quite like it, but then that just lifts it up and makes it more, this is the front cover, so let's put that on. So let's put this one on first. And I think I might, because this is the front, round these corners because it's the front page, just for another wee point of difference. The split pages I did in the other journal, I rounded the corners on them as well, but as a whole I don't tend to round the corners, but there's nothing to stop you rounding all the corners on your pages when you're doing this. It's just another option. Let's just ink this front cover up. Shall we just put in here, let's write something. Let's put, see, we're now on September the 8th, which is just appalling. I'm just going to put September 8th, September. Just put Sept. That's enough. So it kind of started in July 1809 and it finished on the 8th of September 2025. No, I'm not putting 2025 in, but it's just kind of fill those lines in. Right. Let me show you how to do a simpler one. Just the basic square on the back. I was going to be all fancy on this one as well, but I think I should just show you how to do the basic one so I don't confuse you anymore. So we want to decide where we want this on here. It's 10.5 inches. So half of 10.5 is 5 1/4. So it's 10.5 centimetres, half of that is 5 1/4, so that's the middle point. No, that's 5 you've marked it at, Kirsten. So mark your middle point, 5 1/4, there's the middle point. Then I want to do, up from that middle point, I want to do 2 centimetres. Is that right? No. That's okay. 2 centimetres and mark. I want to go, that's going to be it. That is going to be big. That is wrong. Well, let's do one this size. Just let you show you that you can do different sizes. 2 centimeters, and mark. So if I wanted to change that into a square, I would have to go in 4 centimeters, which is quite big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in 2 centimeters as well. So there's the 2 centimeter mark. So from that 2 centimeter mark, I'm going to go in 2 centimeters, and I'm going to mark, and from 2 centimeters mark, I'm going to go in. I'm taking my measurement from the crease, but I'm using the mark to know where the 2 centimeters is, and mark that there. So I've got a line from here to here and from here to here. So that's 2 centimeters from the center to 2 centimeters out, and keep it butted straight against my fold. Two centimeters. I can even use my 2 centimeter again just to make sure. I was butting it against my fold to make sure I had it right, wasn't I? So let's just do that. Butt it against the fold to make sure you've got a straight line from your fold, and out 2 centimeters. I start out at the 2 centimeter mark and go backwards, so it's more like to be right, isn't it? So there you go, you've got 2 lines of what you're wanting to cut. Right, if you put them together, and I suggest you use a clip to keep them together so that they don't shift. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your scissors and you're going to cut along that line. There's the fold. Let me just make that show you. There's the fold. This is the page. So you cut along that line to your 2 centimeter mark. And then along this line to your 2 centimeter mark. Take that off. Right, it's going back that way. The page is that way. And you want this sticking out this way. So have your page, pull it out and gently bring this down and fold it so that it's along that line. And when you've got one of them folded, you can then just take the other one down and it will fold it in the place it needs to be folded. And then you need to ink all that up. I'm not going to go through the whole inking it all up again thing, whether you've seen that's what you need to do. And we'll just rub out those lines that are still showing, because they'll still be showing later. Let's just rub them out, rub them out. So that's the way to do it, nice and simply and without having to go at angles and things. If you go at angles, then you've just got to remember your fold line needs to be straight, parallel to your folds in your book and your fold in there. Your fold line needs to be parallel, and that distance from the top of your fold line to the fold of the page needs to be the same on both sides of your page. On both pages, so in that page and on that page, that distance needs to be the same. I think it's easier to see what I'm talking about when I did that. And I'm sorry I've confused you with that other one. I might just take that other one out. I will take that other one out. I'll show that later. These are my 2 pages for this side of here. So let me show you how to to put them in. So I've just measured the pages and cut them as if there wasn't this bit. And now what I want to do is, leaving them like that, getting a ruler, no, 2.5 millimeters, it's not quite 3 millimeters. So I want to do go up half that distance, and then butting my ruler against the fold. So I just want to go up a bit there, butting my ruler against the fold. I then want to draw a line that is 2 centimeters, because that's how much my cut comes in. 2 centimeters from the edge of the page. So draw a line 2 centimeters, and then the same at the bottom. I want to just come over half the width I'm giving round my page, keeping it nice and straight, and draw 2 centimeters, because I have a 2 centimeter cut out. And then so then I'm going to cut along that line, and I'm going to cut along that line, just making sure it is the actual line and not part of the pattern, because there is a pattern change of colour there, so it's yeah, no, I can feel it as well. So that's when I can cut along that line. Then when I've cut along both of those lines, I can just cut along. Draw a line if you need a line to draw a line to cut straight. Don't just do what I did if somebody needs a line to cut straight, or if you're concerned about if you're slightly off. It doesn't bother me if I'm slightly off. And so you end up with a bit that has your border around there. So let's ink this up and stick it down. And when you're sticking it down, you're best kind of sticking it round your, don't try and stick it down this side first, or stick it round that side first, because these sides are more forgiving than this side if you've not got it quite in the right place. Now this is the bit that came out, and what you could do is you could just say, all right, I need to cut that down, but I want to carry that pattern over there. And so you carry that pattern over there, and then do you carry this pattern down, or do you trim the top and bottom of that? And I like to just say that pattern is lost in this gap. But if you want to carry the pattern over, carry the pattern over, but just be aware you can't carry top and bottom pattern over. And if you end up having something that continues onto this page, if you have a pattern that's a continuous pattern, then it might look odd in this page. If you've taken this one up because you wanted to keep that one up, and this one you decide you want to put down, or so what I do is I cut out the bit round that would be, that's the gap. Right, stick this down. Oh, ink it first. Were you shouting at me, ink it, Kirsten, don't forget to ink it. You're always forgetting to ink things. Right, let's do the same with this side. See, I'm going to love the fact that that sits on it. So let's just take my ruler. Take it however much I want to. You've now got this, which makes it easier. 2 centimeters. Just make sure you draw a straight line. This China pencil doesn't always draw very well on photo paper, and mine is 2 centimeters, so I'm going to take 2 centimeters. I think I've moved that because that's not square on the thing any longer. It's a good job I noticed that, wasn't it? Make sure your page is square on your... And do measure from using your fold line, because your pages might not be totally square, and if you come over and measure on here, then you might discover that you're not where you thought you were. But that's in the right place. I obviously moved when I moved my ruler, so let's just make sure I don't do that again. Move it over there. See, well, that's straight, that's slightly off. Right, 2 centimeters. The size, whatever the size of your cut in, you do that on your paper. Then cut it out. And then I want to put this one in here, so let's chop off. And then you can put more, you can do another one inside there going the other way. So you can have one coming this way and then a smaller one inside going the other way. In this one I put a circle, I punched a circle out of one of them. So you can do all kinds of things. So this one here, for example, I forgot that this area was only supposed to be half of this area when I was cutting, and I've ended up with something that's a bit too wide. So to correct that, if I put this card in here, I don't think I like that card in there, this one maybe, this one. If I put this card in here and just bring it over a wee bit, so I've got I've got my border all the way around there, that works really well. And you don't think, oh, she's gone over the line there to hide that. You just think, oh, she's taken that, that's fine. Actually, I think I'm just going to stick that down right now, because that works really well on there. So let me stick that down. Doesn't need inking, it's already got ink on it. So if you make a mistake by doing that, you know, cutting your bit too big, don't worry about it, you can cover it up. Oh, there's ways around most things. I'm going to show you in a bit the other mistake I made. But it was the mistake is an easy one to make, and the fix is an easy one to make to do. But I was doing something a bit more complicated, and I didn't want to confuse or bamboozle those of you who may have never done this before. I thought I was better just doing a straightforward one for you. But you see, then that deals that. This though now needs something as well. So what should we put on here? We could put on, see, I've got a little tiny bit of quite like the idea of doing that, and there's a little cut off a bit of a label. That's quite cute, isn't it? Should we just do that on there? Let's just take this edgy off. That's not quite straight along that edge, so let's just take another one of those off there. Oh, I've taken another couple off there. Oh, let's take more off that side. and have it like that. That's quite nice. I quite like that, having a wee, almost like a wee flag shape going on there. And that'll be behind the well, that's quite good because it kind of echoes that one as well, doesn't it, a wee bit. Let's gather these all up. Now let's just stick this down. Quite like that. So when you're going along, that one goes this way, so that goes the way. So yeah, running your pages, and then you get to this one and it has this little extra wee bit on it. This is the side I did with you, and then when we get to the front, this is the other one I've done, and I've done it at an angle. And if this confuses you, then please ignore it. But it means I've got this kind of angled one. But what happened was I cut in the wrong place. Your cuts need to be parallel to each other so that it folds out. And what happened was I cut too far up here. So this point to this point was too long. So I had to put on a bit of micropore tape on both sides to hide the cut. That needs a bit more ink on it so it doesn't, so that it won't. And once I cover it up with its thing, it won't really show. I mean, it will show a little bit, but not that it's going to matter. Now to cut this one, for putting this on here, it's slightly more tricky. What I suggest you do is make a template of your shape. Right, so these are the two shapes, that one and that one. So this is this page, and so this page needs this shape cut out of it, and it needs this shape cut out of it on at the right place as well. So what you've got to remember is this is the shape that needs to be cut out, but it starts there. You're going to need more than this cut out because you're going to need the gap. So holding that on there tightly, I'm going to cut my border cut down. I'm just going to cut straight down here. And then cut slightly past, so I've got a border this side as well. So let me show you what I've done there. I've cut my border straight down at the edge and a border there, and then this, it will need a little more taken out the edge, and I need a bit of a wider border, but it's easier to take another little bit out. So let's just take a slither out. Again, if you need a line, draw yourself a line. As good as will do. Could fiddle and make it more even the whole way around, but actually, do you know what? I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to ink this and stick this down. Cut some bits off here. Yeah, that's okay. Don't really need to do anything else on that, do I? This one goes in here like so. Just cut this one out. So that goes that way, that comes that way. There you go, and then you've got this I'm just now going to decorate these pages. Almost like another wee tag, isn't it? There'll be a tab for the cards that are in these pockets. I should maybe do them first so I don't lose them, because I'm already having trouble getting this one back out again. So I need to put something on the back, put a wee tab on the front. These, if I can find them, these just kind of make me think of a tab. Oh, there's already one on there. But you see, I could just put kind of part of that, stamp part of that on a bit of card, then stick down my surface for writing, because it needs to be quite a thick one because of the fabric. And then that can be the tab that pulls it in and out. There's a bit of card, a watercolour card. And I want one of those stamps. Here's one here. A block. And let's decide, shall we just let's just do it in gathered twigs. Right. I'm going to stamp that down. I'm now going to cut it out. I'm going to wait till that's dried. This has now dried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it on like that so that it's a tab. That just looks like now it's part of the tab. That needs to dry. Okay, so that's that one done. There is only going to be these three kind of, it's not meant to have lots of jungly spots in it. Is that going to go on there? I don't know. This is going down that way. We need to put something on the top of this one. Maybe we'll use a bit of this. That's too big. Let's cut that in half. Being inked. I probably need to Now that went in okay. That's okay. I'm not going to have to round those corners. That one went in fine. This was going to go on there, wasn't it? Let's just put that on there. I do quite fancy a bit of something behind that one though. Okay, so that's that one. Let's haven't finished that yet. I was going to do the cards, the ones for the, there we go. This one needs done as well. So I like the fact this has got this extra little tag that I made with the mini ones. So I'm kind of wondering if I want to put that one, but it's not going to really fit on here, so let's put it in there. So let's give it, it's got a very dirty back. Like that. Oh, it's quite nice that it hangs out at a different spot from how that one hangs out. Right, okay. We need to think about what we might want to decorate, how we might want to decorate this. I'm actually thinking of doing some kind of decoration that goes up inside that. I'll show you what I mean. I'm not going to use this, but something that goes, oh, I might use that. I might just use that. So when you're opening the book, that bit goes, and you see that on the other side when we do the other side. I should have done the other side first though, shouldn't I? Because that's now going to be a joy to try and do. You silly woman. Never mind. Never mind. I like that. I like that. And I think we want to echo it this side with this one, even though I didn't really want to cut this one off. I could put that. That's alright. I feel like I want something. No, that's okay. So where have we got to? I think this side's all complete now. That's done. That's done. Oh, let's do a little cluster on this page. So let's get Well, finally it's finished with these fabulous sets from Tracy. Botanical Lab Identification, and it's TFC 2511. Botanical Lab Fungi Findings, which is TFC 2512. And Botanical Lab Minis, which is TFC 2513. With these stamp sets, I made, first of all, little, what would you call them? Labels. That's what you'd call them, Kristen. Using brown paper from Amazon. And this is using some tissue paper to stamp the ferns on. And then we've got some of the background stamping is from the kits, as the stamp sets as well. So I made these, and from these I scanned and cut out and stamped and printed out some copies. So the backs of these pages, apart from the front and the back page, the backs of these pages are the copies. The images do not belong to me, so this is not something I could ever sell, and don't want to sell it anyway, but I could never sell this because images don't belong to me. I could sell it if I had just used my masterboards, because I haven't copied the images. I've stamped them as was intended, used them, and then I could have, but I didn't want it to be even thicker than it is. So that's why I scanned and printed the masterboards. This is the front cover. We've got one of the mushrooms set in an oval with a couple of brads. We've got a tissue paper fern behind it, and this was stamped on, this is stamped on the Amazon paper. This was stamped on coffee dyed. Then we have our first page, which is one of our cutout pages, and as you can see, it's got this bit behind it as well. And we also made more of these mushroom on this kind of creamy background, and on a green background we stamped all the mushrooms to make mushroom cards. And here's one of the mushroom cards as a journaling card. That's on a card, and then it's on a bit of the masterboard. And this is from the mini ones. You can make these little tags as well. Just even that's sticking out. This is trimming from one of the other ones. Now I've just put this tab on the top here just to give another tab on the top. And then, oops, that one's not, there we go, that goes like that. And then when we get to the back, we start going the other way. And this one we've got a glimpse of the gold, and the fabric comes across the gap that it's been made. There's another tag in here, and we used one of the stamps to actually make the tab this time, filling in the bit that was showing white with another of the ovals. It's really meant to come the other way down there, but never mind. I used lots of antique fastenings, little paper clips. This was, and of course my lovely picture paper. And this is like a Polaroid snap. Oh, let me take this one out. And then this one, you can see we've got all the seeing it through, and you've got the bit that hangs over and the bit that hangs from the other side. I hope you enjoyed. Well, there was a lot of videos really in with this, but I hope the finished product here shows you what a fun thing you can make just starting off with stamps. I mean, none of this is digitals or anything. These are all made. So you start off with the stamps and then you do your own things with them to make it a project that nobody else has. Nobody else has this paper. Nobody else has this layout. Nobody else has. You can all use the stamps to make your own, but it's never going to look like this. So if you decide to make one, I'd love to know. All the details of the stamps are down below. Until next time, you take care. Keep crafting. Bye for now.